Okay, I'm gonna let them in, Ahmed. Ahmed?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just dealing with Sophia. Hold on a second.
Dude.
I'll be ready in like 10 seconds. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Go ahead, let them in. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Hi,
everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our meetup, everyone.
Hello.
Hi,
everyone. How are you today?
Good, good.
We're going to start in just a bit. We're just waiting for everyone to come in.
Sure.
And once we start, we're going to mute all of you. Okay, here's some babies in the background. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
More people coming in.
Okay, everyone, we're going to start in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Just waiting for people to come in.
Okay, for those of you that are new to Zoom, just to explain how things usually work is during the presentation, if you have a question, there's a chat. So just type it in the chat. You can also raise your hand. So there's a button where you can raise your hand, and that would tell us that you have a question and you want to ask it on the mic. So if you have a question, either type it in the chat or raise your hand, and we can go to you and turn on your mic. Okay, everyone, I think we're ready to start.
Okay, great. Okay, guys, I'm going to share my screen with you all. Okay, great. If you guys can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Ahmed, there are people in the waiting room. Can we admit them? Okay. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my meetup. So my meetup is about starting a profitable e-commerce business, and it's a 7-step method. This is just a sample of our online program, which is an e-commerce course. We help you build your business from scratch and to making your first sale. And the course starts from 3rd of May till 15th of May, 18th of May. And stay till the end to get a special discount. So my name is Alina Hassan. I'm a digital marketing executive at Astrolabs. I always wanted to join Astrolabs because what they do aligns with what I've always been doing before. So I have a dropshipping website called themadali.com. I launched it back in 2015, and I have an audience of 5.5 million on Factionary, which is a Twitter account. It also has a Snapchat version of it with over 100K. So I have mainly experience in advertising, dropshipping, e-commerce, and social media marketing. So today I'm going to talk to you about e-commerce businesses, and I'm going to cover a 7-step method for one of them, which is dropshipping. And then we have wholesaling, we have subscription services, we have services that you can sell, and then you can sell virtual products as well. So these services and subscription services, wholesaling, all 5 of them are booming right now. E-commerce is booming right now. Whichever is your passion right now, you can venture onto it, and we'll help you go through it in our actual course. So what is dropshipping? Okay. Let's go on to, can anyone still hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So dropshipping is basically, let me explain it to you in a simplified way. A customer purchases an item from your store at a retail price. The order is then forwarded to a supplier of your choice, and then you pay only the wholesale price to that supplier. And then the supplier ships the item directly to the customer under your business name. So your customer will never know it's from another supplier. They will know that it's coming exactly from your business. So the drop shipping model is basically, the first step is the customer, they purchase an order from your website at a retail price, which could be $200. And then that order is forwarded to your supplier and then pay the wholesale price. So basically, a customer will purchase it for $200, but you will only buy it for $150. And then the supplier could be from Aliexpress. They ship the order to your customer, and that's been received. So the whole process, basically in it, you're a middleman. I would suggest not keep a $50 profit. Instead, buy the product for $150 and then sell it for $250. So you can maximize your profit, because you need to keep in mind that you have marketing costs and processing fees as well. That's what I would do. That's how I would take my approach. So what do you need for drop shipping? You need to buy a domain, which you can purchase from namecheap.com or Shopify itself. It would cost you from $8 to $14. And then you need Shopify, which is a platform. They will provide you hosting, themes, everything operational for 90 days free. They have a free trial due to COVID-19. Typically, their trial would be for 15 days, but now it's extended to 90 days, which is perfect. They're encouraging people to open their e-commerce businesses online. You use their built-in themes and plugins. So Shopify has 8 free themes and a bunch of paid themes, but I never really felt the need to buy a theme from them because their free themes are super customizable. You can change the colors, the navigations, you can add pictures, so it's perfect. And then you need the Overloo plugin, which is basically a Shopify plugin you attach with your website, and Overloo automates the whole dropshipping process for you. So if you get a customer order, you don't need to add their details and then go to Aliexpress and then ship it to them. It's adding their details automatically and picking up the whole information. So it's a free plugin again. And then after 3 months have passed, you need to purchase Shopify on a monthly basis, which is $29. So you have a domain that you have purchased, let's say, and then you have Shopify, which is now a 3-month free trial. And then you have a free app, which automates the whole dropshipping process. So Overloo is free until you have exceeded 500 products. For me, I never really had to purchase Overloo because I have under 500 products. So
Alina, your microphone is disconnected. Okay, everyone. Alina will just reconnect. I think it was just a network issue. Just give it a few minutes and she'll be back on.
Hi, everyone. Ahmed here. Let me continue with what we started. From the room here, does anybody already have an e-commerce business that they want to start, or are all of you still thinking about it? Like, what stage are you guys at the moment? Like, how many people here are still thinking about their idea? Like, let me know in the chat. Okay, thinking about it. Okay, actually, there's a few questions here. Let me start to answer these. In the current situation, is dropshipping a good idea? Well, I mean, e-commerce in general is still picking up quite a bit now. you might run into some problems nowadays with, I mean, if you're shipping products from China or other places, because like a lot of them have to be sterilized first if they're shipped from somewhere else. So they might take a while, but in general, I mean, I've seen a lot of people that start an e-commerce business now, and it's in dropshipping, and it does work nowadays. So I mean, now is a good time actually, if you're like thinking about this. And also, I mean, worst case scenario is you'll get started, and then once you are ready to actually launch it, I mean, hopefully most of this will, you know, die down. Let's see, there's a few more questions here. Typically, the shipping timelines for Aliexpress are 30 days. How can we reduce this? So actually, if you use Oberlu, which is the Shopify plugin, they usually tell you ones that take a lot less time. So on average, they would take maybe 14 days or so. So in terms of like drop shipping, I would try to find suppliers that can give you a product shipped to the customer within maybe 2 weeks or so. If it's more than 2 weeks, I mean, if it's like more than like 15 days, then yeah, I mean, it's not the, you know, best experience. But I mean, sometimes like you won't find an option. Okay, Alina, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so feel free to come back in. Yeah, jump in. There's a bunch of questions here.
Yeah.
I think we'll take most of these at the end. So
Yeah.
I'll save these for the end of the presentation.
Okay, perfect. Can you guys hear me perfectly right now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Great.
Go
Okay,
for it.
so we left off at, I'm hoping, this slide.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Okay, so as I said, Shopify offers a 3-month free trial. Oberlu is completely free as well until you exceed 500 products. And you just have to purchase for a domain. And then, of course, the marketing costs of your product and website. So let's move on to the 7 method that we discussed in our meetup. So this is going to be for dropshipping mainly, but you can use the 7-step method for other products as well, whether you want to sell digital products or physical products or services, by tweaking the steps a little bit, which we're going to discuss in a bit. So the first one is choosing a selling platform, which is very important for dropshipping and the right platform to choose for it. So WooCommerce basically works with WordPress and gives you more control on your website. Shopify is a huge seller when it comes to dropshipping. I would say 70% of dropshippers are using Shopify for their website because of their convenience, plugins and themes and optimizations, and the fact that you do have some control over it, but the navigation and the process is very easy to set up. And then you have OpenCart, which is similar to WooCommerce, and then you have BigCommerce. You have a lot of platforms, but I would be a little biased and suggest you Shopify because it's extremely beginner friendly, and they're doing the best to make you launch your own business by giving you free hosting for 3 months during COVID-19, which is amazing. Okay, so the second step is choosing a dropshipping niche. Now, I would say start with your interests and passions. My passions, my passion was like animals. So I'm thinking of starting a pet store as well. Currently, I have the madally.com where I sell women products and gadgets, which I'm interested in. And then I would suggest you think of a product that solves a problem, a personal problem for you in your market research. Yes, you can see what other people are doing and what kind of products that they're selling. But if you want to really pick your first winning product, you have to think what you want to sell first. And then, of course, research the competition. Once you have found the product, you need to see what other people are doing with it and how they're selling it and what key selling points they're using on their product pages. And we talk about the tools and hacks and tips to find your winning products in our e-commerce store course as well. And then you need to ensure that the niche is profitable. So as you can see in this tiny picture, niche product ideas for 2019. So these are the selling niches in dropshipping. You have power tools, you have tech supplies, you have dog accessories, and then you have oversized clothing, organic products. So there's a lot of options for dropshipping products, and you can easily find them on Aliexpress or any other supplier website. So your website and your branding needs to stand out. Why? Because there is so much competition out there for dropshipping. There's a chance, 90% chance, that the product you choose, maybe 5 to 50 other people will be selling it as well. So what makes your website different? Whether it's 100% eco-friendly, or instead of 30 days return guarantee, you're giving 90 days return guarantee, or maybe you have a fantastic customer service or a website. So make your website stand out against the competition. So this is performing a competitor research. You have to find your competition after choosing your products, and then you have to look at their product pages. So go to their websites and look at the way that they are formatting the page and the way they are placing and promoting the product, the content of it. Of course, I would not suggest you to copy paste what they're doing, but take inspiration from how they're selling it, their unique selling points, the pictures that they're using. So try to use pictures which don't have a background. So just the product with a white background. These aesthetics really matter when a person is purchasing from your website, because they will see the quality of it. A lot of people asked us in our course, like, why wouldn't the person go and purchase directly from Aliexpress or any other supplier? So there are two reasons. One, maybe because they don't know and they have seen your ads. And once they land on your ad, like on your website, second, they're going to see your website and the value it provides, the template, the way you're selling it, and your customer service. And that's why they will purchase it from your website. And you also have to see what kind of ads your competition is running. So a good hack for it is, so let's say there's a dropshipping website that you find to be really appealing. You have a look at their products, go and find their Facebook page. They most definitely have one, because they're running ads to get those products purchases. So go on their page and see their posts. You will have their ads library also on Facebook. Have a look at all of the ads that they're running and the way that they're placing them, the videos that they're posting, the reactions, the custom, like maybe that product looks like a bestseller, but maybe on Facebook ads, you see on the comments, it's not really a good product. So these things you will find when you're doing a very good in-depth competitor research on your products. So now this is the fifth step, which is choosing your suppliers. This is also very important if you want a successful dropshipping business and not to have any hassles in it or problems. So ideal for a beginner is Aliexpress. I'm still using Aliexpress for my suppliers. There are other platforms called Salehoo, Doba, but the problem with them is that yes, the good part is they have suppliers from other countries like US and Canada and Australia, but you have to purchase a subscription. So it's not very beginner friendly. I would suggest Aliexpress because it's 100% free, and then you can always change your suppliers. And then make sure the supplier dropships. The best way to know that a supplier dropships is go to their profile and contact them. Contact them and ask them, are you dropshipping? And what are your rates? And you will know from their response that they're a professional dropshipper because they have a template of messages. And then they should have the best order fees. Let's say you find eyelashes to sell in the beauty products niche for women. Now, when you go on Aliexpress and you search for those eyelashes, you want to find the best supplier who's offering you the best package. So low costs for the product price, 99% ratings, 5-star dropshipper. Check the reviews on the product page, how people receive the product, and then whether they're friendly with you on chat. So this is like the best way to choose your supplier. And number 6 is to have a marketing plan. So for drop shipping, your orders will come through because of your marketing. So if your marketing is not on point, you will lose. But there are ways to avoid losing money if you have a proper marketing plan. A lot of people, when they do the research on dropshipping, they see like 100K, like someone's making 100K in 6 days, and they're like, they run an ad for 2 days on a $20 budget, and they're like, why am I not doing the same thing? So never fall into that trap. Have your own marketing plan, set realistic goals. So first you analyze your current situation. So let's say your strength is what makes you better than others. Maybe you have a quality website, maybe you're selling organic products. Weaknesses. So your weakness could be that you're a beginner in a saturated product niche, which could be like let's say face masks or anything that's in the beauty niche. And then you have threats, which is that you have a lot of competition. Then you identify your target audience. Marketing to the right people will reduce your marketing costs. So if you're targeting women and their perfect age group, where they're living, so where the product that you chose is selling the most, that also you can find through tools and plugins and hacks that I will show in the course itself as well. For example, if a product is selling the most in Australia, maybe you will target Australia or some cities of it instead of targeting the whole world. Or the placement of the ad, the pictures, the videos. So you really have to make your ads noticeable, and the targeting has to be right. And then you have realistic marketing goals. Let's say you want to do some free marketing as well because you're low on budget. Let's say you want to do 5 blog posts a day on your website for the product that you're promoting. Or you want to make 5 sales a day from maybe $100 budget. Your marketing goals have to be realistic, but make them so when you actually achieve that goal, you're ticking it off a list instead of just going with the flow. You're going to be straight in the game instead of seeing what other people are doing. And most important, set a marketing budget. Instead of just going into the game without knowing how much you're going to spend, keep a spend for your marketing. Maybe let's say a week, $100, or a week for $500. It depends how your budget is, so you can optimize it in a better way. And then the seventh step is the customer acquisition strategy. So number 1, Facebook ads. Number 2, influencer marketing. You have free marketing tools as well, like blog posts, forum marketing. You can post about the product on reddit.com, which is what a lot of dropshippers are doing as well, because reddit.com is not very recognized in like a lot of countries. So not a lot of people are using it for free content marketing. And then you have social media marketing and email marketing. So for email marketing, it's, I would say, the last step of marketing, because you're going to be sending emails to people who are already your customers, and you're going to try to retain them and bring them back and purchase from you again. What I have used for my website, themadali.com, is Facebook ads, influencer marketing, and email marketing. So for influencer marketing, I used my own page to just post the products, and I would receive customers. And I tried to venture onto Instagram marketing as well. So I would pay influencers from $10 to $50 to promote my product for 24 hours or so. And I would get sales from there as well. And Facebook ads as well, you can set like a $5 budget just to test your ads out and experience the way like you can market your product. And then social media marketing. So you can create an Instagram page for your company and then post videos with, I think the maximum hashtags you can use are 30 hashtags. So post maybe 7 videos of maybe 2 different products and post 30 hashtags and post about the product itself, and then write link in bio. This is a free way to do it as well, which has worked for most people. So these are the 7 steps to having a good, successful e-commerce business, mainly drop shipping, which I have implemented as well. So before starting out, you need to plan everything from step by step instead of looking at what other people are doing. And having a proper marketing plan is really the way to go for a successful, making your first sale basically. So just a moment. So for a trade license for dropshipping. So with a license, you can accept credit card payments, and then you can sign agreements with logistic companies. You really do need a license for a dropshipping business if you want to accept credit card payments from your customers. For me and my website, most of my customers, they are from US and UK. So the payment option I have currently is PayPal, and they mostly prefer to pay it that way. So if you want to maybe test the waters and not purchase a license, try to target people in countries who are using PayPal as a payment processor. And then without a license, you can accept PayPal payments, which are $3,000 withdrawals a month, which is a limitation that you have. And then you can sell on other platforms like Amazon FBA, niche websites like Etsy and Teesprings, which is something that we will thoroughly cover in our e-commerce course as well, all of these platforms and ways. And then we have the company set up in the UAE, Astrolabs Dubai offers. So our Dubai-based company registration, we have subsidized company licensing, we have fast-track bank setup, whitelisted for easy bank accounts, set up in Dubai. And we have a 24/7 co-working space. It's super bright and fun to be in. And learn more at astrolabs.com/Dubai-co-working shared office space, okay? Offshore company setup. So you have two options which dropshippers are using. You have Stripe Atlas. Astrolabs is like the only partner for a Stripe Atlas in the UAE currently. And US LLC and US corporate bank account. You will get access to Stripe Payment Gateway. It's a $500 one-time fee. And then you have Launchies, which is if you want to set up a business in UK, that's what they're perfect for. They allow you to open a UK LCF, has some restrictions, and they have a $500 one-time fee. Personally, I have not used Launchies and Stripe Atlas because I had a friend in Canada who set up the Shopify store for me. So I could accept Shopify payments. Shopify payments is a Shopify payment gateway, which customers can pay through from their credit cards and debit cards. And it was super perfect and easy for me. So I never had to use these, but the dropshippers I know, they're using Stripe Atlas the most because Launchies is fairly new. I'm not too sure about how it's performing and how their customer service is. So this is just a sample of our online program. We have an amazing e-commerce launcher course. We have modules, 7 modules in which we teach business economics, choosing a product, e-commerce platforms, payments, payment gateways, a business setup, shipping and logistics, and then marketing and selling, how to market them. And then we have a 20% off, which is the promo code MEETUPE for all the people who are attending this meetup. Thank you so much. And it's a live course, one-to-one support, 1 month free at Astrolabs co-working space, and the mentorship from the founder of Numshi.com and Astrolabs, Louis Lebos. Yeah, so we're done with the presentation. I will move on to the questions now.
Thanks, Alina. Yeah, let me help you out with the questions.
Yeah.
Because we already answered a few of them. So let's go to the top.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Okay, so someone is saying, I've signed up for an account and have been playing around with the app. So, okay, that's not a question.
Okay, which question did you answer the last?
Hold on a second.
Yeah. So we'll just
okay, I found it. Okay, so the last question I didn't answer was from Rami. He's saying, how practical is it to have built your own brand or branded items while doing dropshipping?
Branded items while doing. It's super practical. It's super easy to do because in 2020, you have more than 100K dropshippers doing the same thing that you're going to be asking the suppliers to do. So to build your own brands, you can build your own theme, your logo, you can customize it. And then branded items while dropshipping. So that is something you need to communicate with your supplier, which is why choosing a supplier which is customer friendly and can communicate with you in English, in proper English, will be perfect from Aliexpress. And there are plenty doing that because they're already in the game. I've communicated with more than 10 suppliers and they kind of have the same structure. So basically you can add your logo and your branding on the package that your customer will receive. So it's super practical and super doable.
Yeah, it's just something that you have to talk to with the person that's doing the like dropshipping for you. So
course,
they have to do it.
Yeah, and if you don't talk to them about it and you just like import the supplier directly from Oberlo, then they will send just the simple standard packaging. So it's best practice that you do talk to them about it before you start taking orders.
Okay, next question is from Mahmoud. He's saying, I'm thinking in terms of scale, how do I set it up where my shipping can be no additional fees? So like basically how you have to think about this is just to add it onto your margin. Mm-hmm. So like, let's say that as a drop shipper, you have to pay $50 to get a product with the shipping, right? Mm-hmm. So just factor that into your cost. Mm-hmm. And then just tell the customer that it's free shipping. So exactly. I mean, it's not really free shipping, but from the customer's like point of view, they see it as free because I mean they're not paying for it, even if they have to pay for a higher price.
Exactly. And even for me on my website, if you go on the madali.com, the first black banner on top says free shipping for all customers. So, which is what makes people buy more. If you add a shipping fee in the end, you'll likely get more abandoned carts than purchases.
All right.
I'm definitely going to share this presentation afterwards.
Yeah, someone's saying, how can I set up a dropshipping model with a local supplier here in Dubai? So if it's with someone locally, I mean, most of them don't do like this kind of like drop shipping. So you would have to talk to them if they're open for it. Exactly. But they would have to set it up themselves. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier if you work with someone that is already doing drop shipping, because then like you don't have to sell them on the concept. They'll just do it on their own. So it's better if you find someone that is already doing that and just partner with them that way.
Okay.
Okay, there's a question from Nancy. She's saying, Oberlo is only linked to specific wholesalers. What if I want to dropship from another supplier or a specific website?
Okay, sure. So in my presentation, I was mainly talking about Oberlo and Shopify because Oberlo is the best app for Shopify dropshippers who are dropshipping from Aliexpress. But there are other apps called Dropify and so many more, Spockets, which you can integrate with Shopify if you have another supplier, another wholesale website. They're obviously not going to be primarily about that wholesale website, but you can make the connections because Oberlo, it's primarily dedicated to Aliexpress, which is why it's such a good plugin. Best Shopify payment gateway for businesses based in Dubai. Okay, so that would be, I would recommend Stripe Atlas. We don't have Stripe as a payment gateway in Shopify, but if you purchase Stripe Atlas, that would be the best payment gateway. And then you have checkout.com as well and other payment gateways. But the ones that I'm familiar with, which drop shippers are using and they really like, is checkout.com and Stripe Atlas.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of this depends on where you set up your business license. So if you set it up in the UAE, then you're kind of limited to the number of payment gateways that you can use. So I recommend to use something like checkout.com if you're in the UAE. Because Stripe is like, I mean, it's not available here if you have a UAE trade license.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next question is, okay, someone's saying, how does one link their personal bank account on Shopify if they don't have a company bank account? So the only option here basically is to use PayPal, because PayPal lets you use your personal bank account.
Yeah.
If you want to take credit card payments, you need to have a trade license. Otherwise, you have to use PayPal.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a rack free zone company and I have a supplier in India. I can get the stock here as well, but is dropshipping the only option for me? So, I mean, dropshipping would only be an option if the supplier in India can ship it to the customer directly. So if you're importing it here first, then it's not really dropshipping. Because I mean, dropshipping basically means that that the supplier is shipping it to the customer on their own. But if they're shipping it to you first, then it's slightly different.
Right. So how much time Aliexpress takes to deliver the product to the buyer? Okay, so the time varies on the shipping. Like, for example, if you choose e-packets, it's a shipping service. They deliver from 12 to 20 days, which is like the best time. But what you can do to test it out is actually buy the product yourself and see how long it takes you. And also you can have a chat with the supplier if they have a better program and a faster shipping service.
Okay, there's a question here. What type of products are ideal for drop shipping? So I would say number one is it has to be a product that has a good margin.
Yeah.
So like you want to have a margin of at least 60% or more. Mm-hmm. So if you're buying it for 40, you would want to sell it for 100 or even more.
And I would suggest products that are not heavy in shipping. So there are less chances of it being damaged. So maybe clothing items, some jewelry products, beauty products, some gadgets. These would be like the perfect drop shipping niches.
Yeah, I mean, also, I would say like try to drop ship something that doesn't have a lot of sizes, right? Because I mean, if they order it and it doesn't fit, it's more of a problem.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Okay, if you sell the okay, there's my question. Let's see, what are the VAT implications, especially since we don't have a license? Yeah, so if you're selling it as an individual seller, you don't have to use VAT. If you're selling it, I mean, because you'll basically be selling it through a third party, either PayPal or Shopify. So you don't have to have VAT. You only need VAT if you have a trade license. Okay. There's a question. How did your friend in Canada enable Shopify payments? Did they need to set up a company there for you?
She's a very close friend of mine. I basically needed her card details, which she entered on her own. We got on a Skype call and she shared her screen and I basically walked her through what she has to do. So she
did she need to set up a company in Canada or was it through her like personal
bank accounts?
Yeah.
And
I think that, yeah, if you're in the US, I mean, I think that if you're in North America, then you can set up Shopify and Stripe, even if you don't have a bank account.
Exactly. And there were no limitations.
Or trade license, yeah.
Had to deal with. It was super to set up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the name of my website is themadali.com. I'll just share it over here with everyone.
Okay, Raheel has a question. I'll follow up with you separately, Raheel, about this. Can Aliexpress make branded items? Yes. So, I mean, as we were saying, if you contact them directly, then they could customize it for you. But it depends on the supplier. I mean, some of them might not do it for you, some of them will. Have you ever used a drop shipping agent? Alina?
Agent?
I guess like a third party that can help you maybe? Like a third party or like a consultant or like?
No, I never had to use a consultant. Mainly because the suppliers themselves provide so much information on drop shipping and the products and how many people are ordering it. I never really needed an agent. So it really matters like what kind of a supplier that you're choosing because they're going to help you in your business. Yeah, so there's another question about do you need a trade license for drop shipping? I mean, like we said, I mean, if you want credit card payments, then yes. But if you want to take PayPal, then you don't need a trade license. Yeah. So for me, I don't have a trade license, so I use PayPal, and sometimes I switch on PayPal and my friend's gateway from Canada, and I can receive Shopify payments. There's a hack to it, but if you don't have that, then you need to purchase a trade license to accept credit card payments.
Okay, there's a question here. Would it be better to import products in bulk and then sell them through Amazon and Noon? So yeah, I mean, you could do that, but again, there's two problems with doing it that way. Number one is you have to pay for it, right? So there's
Inventory.
a investment that you have to pay for, and there's a risk that they might not sell, right? So, I mean, you could do that and you would make more money if it works. So if you buy items and you ship them like locally here and you sell them locally, then you would make more money than doing it through dropshipping. But you would have to invest to, I mean, first of all, buy those products, and there's a risk that they might not sell. Let's see. Best way to arrange shipping without having the customer any additional fees or local fees? Yeah, so I mean, like we said, so just add those fees on top of what you're charging the customer and don't let them know about it. So
Exactly.
if you're buying a product for 40 and you have to pay 20 for shipping, then like just say that your cost is like 60 and charge more than you would normally, right? But like, I mean, don't let the customer know about all of these fees. Okay, do you recommend having a niche product as opposed to a general store? If it's a niche product, how many different types of niches do you recommend?
So I would recommend doing an 80-20 rule. So 80% should be a niche store, and 20% you can have a margin for other products, which is something that I've done for the Mad Alley. So 80% I'm selling women products, and 20% can be gadgets, pets, pet stuff, clothes maybe. So that would be.
But you mainly focus just on like one niche, right?
Exactly.
Like, which is women's product.
Mainly. But if you want to explore other options, you can always keep like a 20% margin and then explore whatever niche that you need to. So that's what.
Okay, Alexandra said Stripe is prevented here. What company structure do you recommend? So I mean, like we said, there's a few options. You could set up in a free zone in the UAE and then use a payment gateway that's not Stripe, like checkout.com or like Payfor or one of the other ones. And they do work with Shopify. So you could use a different payment gateway and Shopify would still work if you set up in the UAE. And the other option is you could set up an offshore business in the US or somewhere else. And the example that we shared is called Stripe Atlas. It costs around 2,000 dirhams as a one-time fee. And they set you up with a US company and US bank account. The only thing with that is you also have to worry about company taxes. So, I mean, it is a cheaper option, but you still have to worry about, taxes and all that. Okay, yeah, like we answered that.
I have heard of PayPal banning dropshippers where sales begin to grow. Have you ever had this experience? What's the solution? I didn't have this experience, but sometimes like they would freeze my payments and I would get in touch with PayPal and then they will just let go of the payment. So all I had to do was just get in touch with PayPal and give them a call. But this banning mostly happens when you have a huge refund rate. Like a lot of customers are complaining to Shopify. So that banning is not really related to dropshipping, but the product you're selling itself.
Yeah, like people are like not like satisfied or like it didn't get to them in time or something. Okay, there's a question. You personally, do you use a free zone company or a onshore company? So Alina uses someone in Canada, right? Like you don't have a local company. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, how do you deal with returns in dropshipping? So there's a few ways, right? So you could give them a refund on their product. You could tell them to mail it back to you, or you could give them like a voucher, right? So, I mean, oftentimes if the product is not that expensive, if it's like a $10 product, then it's cheaper if you just give them a refund or, I mean, because like you have to worry about them shipping it back to you and then sending them another one, which might be more expensive, right?
And if you have like a high margin and the product costs you like $2 and you're selling it for maybe $29 or $39, you can always send them another piece along with maybe a 50% off voucher for their next order, which will make them really happy instead of them returning the product. You always have to avoid that because the product is not going in your warehouse, it's going to Aliexpress. So you have to avoid that hassle for you and the customer.
Yeah, so Kate is saying that an agent is basically someone that is working in China with a supplier. So yeah, I have heard about these people, and they do offer more services. Like they do things like help you create custom products. So like if you want to invent something new, if it's like a new product idea that you have, I mean, like maybe it's like a new kind of phone case or like something that's like not available on the market. Like these kind of people can help you find factories that can actually manufacture those products. So like that's a good way of going about it if you have like something that's a new idea, right? What's the Aliexpress plugin? It's called Oberlu.
Let me just share it with you guys over here, oberlu.com.
Is it not a good idea that other dropshipping that we purchase our products and sell them on Amazon? Yeah, so I mean, like I said about that, you could do that, but it's a higher risk because, I mean, like you have to invest in the product, bring it here first, and then ship it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what are the alternatives to Aliexpress?
Okay, so I have 3 alternatives. The first is salewho.com. They have a subscription service. Mostly their suppliers are from US, so their delivery time will be faster. And then I have another option, which is I think doba.com. They're similar to salewho.com. And then there is a plugin on Shopify called Spocket. Let me share it with you guys, spocket.com. Now, these guys are a plugin of Shopify. You can basically integrate them easily, and the suppliers are mostly from US, and their shipping times are really good. But the problem is that the products, the catalog of products that they have is limited compared to Aliexpress. So if you want like a certain type of product, maybe you will not find it, but they do have good offers, and the prices are the same as Aliexpress. Just the catalog is limited.
All right, there's a question. Can you use an offshore company in Ras Al Khaimah? Yeah, I mean, that's more like a free zone company. Yes, it's possible. I mean, that's perfectly fine. You could set up in any free zone or any company setup. The only thing that might limit you is the types of payment gateways that you might be able to use. But in the UAE, if you set up in Ras Al Khaimah, there's a bunch of them that you can use, like Pay4 or checkout.com. What's the investment in setting up a dropshipping business in the first 3 months? So mainly for the trade license, which might cost you, if you use Stripe, Atlas, maybe 2,000 dirhams. And everything else is pretty much free. You have to pay for Shopify, which is like $30 a month. You have to buy a domain, which is like $15 a year. So maybe, yeah, and like, I mean, besides that, it's just marketing costs. So, I mean, in terms of setting up your business, you could set up with under 5,000 dirhams, like maybe 3,000 dirhams, and have everything set up, and even do some marketing. Okay, how do customers know about your website, social media content? So in her case, she has a Twitter following of around 5 million people. So she mainly uses that as her platform to basically share it. But if you don't have that, then you have to use all of the other channels that she talked about, like Facebook ads and Google search ads and all the other kinds of ads. Yeah.
Exactly. So for Facebook ads, if you don't want to try them and try influencer marketing, maybe because a lot of dropshippers are doing it, you can easily find like pages. There are pages which are dedicated to a certain niche, like women pages, maybe fashion and stuff. And then you message them and then you ask them like their rates for a post of 24 hours instead of 3 days or 4 days. So they'll delete the post after 24 hours, but we don't need the post after it because the most engagement comes from like the first couple of hours. And they will likely give you a cheaper rate. It could go from $20 to $2,000. You just have to message a lot of influencers and see. And it's like, in my experiment, the influencers charging me more gave me less sales compared to the influencers charging me like $20. It was crazy. Like the engagement was better. So a page of 50,000 followers can have 2,000 likes, which is much better than a page of 500K having 2,000 likes. So you have to compare the ratios as well. So I would suggest that as a good way to start your marketing for dropshipping instead of Facebook ads, just to familiarize yourself with how it goes about.
Okay, there's another question. I don't see any Google search ads for dropshipping. Is there a reason? So, I mean, there are some sites that do use Google search ads. One example is Desert Cart, which is actually based in the UAE. A lot of their products are actually dropshipped. So they use Google ads quite a bit. I would say that people in dropshipping typically like Facebook ads better because I mean, dropshipping products are usually in some kind of a niche, so it's easier to have them show an ad on Facebook because of the targeting ways of doing it. Sorry, but in terms of, I mean, also dropshipping products are more niche products, so. Usually they're ones that are more like a impulse buy. Like people don't usually search for them. They're more like, they're just browsing and they see an ad and they make a purchase. So, I mean, a lot of it depends on the kinds of products that these niche sellers are selling. If you have something that people are searching for, I have seen a lot of dropshippers use Google search ads. So it mainly depends on what you're selling. There's a question here. Do you pay taxes in Canada if you're selling through a Canadian company?
Okay, so for me, there are annual taxes, which my friend would pay. And basically I was giving her a commission because in the, after the second month, it turned into a job for her. She would have to deal with the orders coming in. And I think the taxes are around 5%. We never really, and I think it's after exceeding a limit of sales. So I think $40,000, if I'm not wrong. Never had to deal with taxes. My friend did all of that, but it's 5%, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you set up in the US or the UK or Canada, they usually have a minimum threshold that they need you to reach, and is usually around maybe $50,000 per year in sales. So if you're just starting off, then you usually don't have to worry that much about taxes.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, the same question is would people come to my site if everything is on Amazon? So again, it's basically about getting in front of them first, and them seeing your product. And I mean, if someone is really looking for a bargain on something, then they probably won't buy your product, right?
Yeah.
But if it's the first time that they saw this product and it looks cool and they like it, then they might buy from you. So I mean, that's why. A lot of it's important to focus on a niche that you understand and products that you think they'll buy.
And products which will solve a problem, so they instantly go on your website and purchase it.
Okay, Tanya wants to know, how did you acquire your followers and how much did you have to pay for them? I think it was free, right?
Yeah, I never had to pay for my followers. So I started gaining my following because I was an avid Twitter user. I had my personal Twitter account and I had online friends. So a friend of mine, Michael from US, Arizona, he told me that there's this thing where you can basically create a page in a certain niche and you can market it organically. So I was very interested in that idea, and then he told me how to go through it. So basically your first 1,000 followers is what you have to worry about. And that you can get from following other people, commenting, and posting nice tweets. So I started with a factionary, posting facts. And after I crossed, I think 5,000 followers, and it was I dedicated myself to it. I used to work 20 hours a day just to grow my page. That's when I reached out after crossing like 5,000, 6,000, I reached out to other pages which were also offering the same thing, but in a different niche. So maybe like celebrity facts or something else. And then I would message them. I would say that let's retweet each other so we can exchange our followers, and they will get to know about me. You will get to know, like that kind of exchange. And that's how I grew them. And after I hit 500K, I was noticed because I was posting facts, and at that time, like those kind of pages were not very big on Twitter. So I got noticed by Amitabh Bachchan and Justin Bieber and these people. That's when I started gaining momentum. So yeah, it's 100% organic. And then I launched my.
I mean, like, but it took you like 3 years, right? I mean, it took you like a really long time to get all these followers.
It took me 1 year to reach 500K.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a short amount of time, but I worked for 20 hours and I just worked on gaining followers by sharing knowledge. So yeah, and after that, it was just a flow. And yeah, so let's see.
Okay, how many followers actually convert into customers as a percentage?
Ooh, that's a nice one. Okay, so I try to post my ads around 5 a.m., which is best for US customers because US customers are my favorite. They actually buy when they see my ad, and most of my followers are from US. So I would say if I'm posting around like 5 a.m. on a weekend or maybe during Super Bowl or an event that's going on, just have a look at the events calendar. I would like if all the people are online right now, I would say 45% to 50% would convert if that's like a product I'm promoting during an event. Otherwise, if I'm just promoting during the day where mostly people from like, these regions are online, I will not really get high converts. I would say less than 10%. So my main dough is literally coming from US around 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, let's see. Next question is,
do you use PayPal for payments in Canada?
it's an option, right? I mean, like usually, yeah. I mean, like it's always good to offer people multiple payment options. So sometimes, yeah. I mean, if they prefer PayPal, they can use that. But I would say like majority, probably 90% of people prefer credit card payments.
Okay. If I'm selling goods in the Middle East, do I need an LLC license? So Ahmed, what about like an e-trader license if it's a platform?
Yeah, so like that's possible. So you could use the e-trader license, but you might have difficulty in setting up a business bank account. So that's usually what we found is if you're in the UAE, usually the hardest part of starting a business is not the trade license, it's the bank account. And some banks need a lot of capital requirements if you're starting up a business. Even if you have like a simple trade license and it costs you like 1,000 dirhams, some banks need you to have 50,000 dirhams in cash in the bank if you want to get started with them with a business bank account. So, I mean, if you're looking at these kind of options, I would basically double check about their business bank account setup and see, do they have any capital requirements, or are there any things that you like need to keep in mind? Because it's probably the hardest part of setting up a business here is the bank account. And like, that's why Astrolabs is a good option because we're actually whitelisted with Emirates NBD and they don't have any capital requirements. So, I mean, I would just double check on that part, on the business bank account.
So what is the niche page that you're referring to? Okay, so the niche page is mine. It's Factionary. I post general knowledge information and facts, which is basically a niche of its own. And that's where like all the people are following me. That's why they're following me organically. Okay. Ahmed, are you still with us?
Yes, but I have to go to the other event now. So
okay, no worries.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay. See you, everyone. Take care.
Okay. So we have two more questions. So do you have any customers from Egypt, and how do you manage the dropshipping over there? I've had customers from regions like Egypt and Pakistan, India, Algeria. And what I noticed was that they don't have ePacket there. So I would just have to go to the Aliexpress website and see the best, like the alternative to ePacket shipping service. And the problem there would be that the products would get delivered there later. So instead of 20 days, it would take them 25 days, which is why I try to avoid like posting my tweets, which are promoting my website during the day or like on those specific times when maybe most people from these countries are online, because I want to target US. Okay, yes, Astrolabs does help set up dropshipping company. And we do have a company called itsherway.com. They are with us. Let me just send you. So they're with us and they do similar. I think they do dropshipping and they have suppliers of their own as well. And okay, so when dealing with expensive products, is it a good idea to have a no return policy? I have never sold high ticket products, but I think you should always have a return policy unless they're buying products that you cannot return. So I would say you should always have a return policy because you want to gain the customer's trust. Okay, I don't see IG or Facebook pages linked to your website. For the madali.com, I usually don't link my Twitter page or my social media page on the website because I want to keep it separate. How can we get more information? Okay, let me send you a link. Can you shoot Ahmed an email for getting more information on how to set up a company in Astrolabs and the benefits of it? Just shoot him an email with all the questions that you have and he'll be happy to help. Okay, for the ones who've missed the meetup, don't worry, I'll send you the recording. I will send you the presentation as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for this meetup. I have some websites. Oh, no. It's the madali.com. Let me send it to you again. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming for my meetup, and hope you guys have a lovely quarantine. Thank you so much.